Don't you think this realization about the potential of Gujarat is coming a bit too late? Because there has not been any change in justice system. The first, if you talk about the 2002 riots as a whole, the first judgment came about 5 years ago. And what is the people community in that judgment? So don't you think that it is basically public pressure, the popularity that Mr. Modi has gained over the last 4 or 5 years, and the pressure from the Gujarati community in UK, which has brought about this realization on your part?
Thank you. Let me explain the decision that we have taken to re-engage. You mentioned 2002. 2002 is 10 years ago. In those 10 years, some quite important things have happened. The first thing that has happened is that the government that I work for, the British government that was elected in 2010, took a decision to deepen and strengthen its relations with India. And if you want to deepen and strengthen your relations with India, you can't ignore one of the most important states in India, which is Gujarat. The second thing that I think has happened over those 10 years is that the state of Gujarat has grown in importance. It's become more prosperous, more successful. There are a very large number of Gujaratis now living in the UK. So Gujarat, over those 10 years, has become more important to the UK. And the third thing that has happened is that over those 10 years, a legal process, which you referred to, has gone forward, which has resulted in several convictions of figures found guilty of committing crimes during the 2002 riots, including a former member of the Gujarat government. And it was in light of those three factors that we thought that the time was now right to re-engage with Gujarat. I just want to emphasize 2 points on that. The first one is that this is increased engagement, not the start of engagement. Britain has been present in Gujarat for many years. We have a visa office here. We've had a British trade office here for many years, and the British Council have been active here for many years. What is new is a decision to engage with the Gujarat government, but we have not been unengaged in Gujarat for the last 10 years. And the second point I want to make is that this is engagement with Gujarat. Gujarat as a whole. It's not about engagement with any single figure.
So, High Commissioner Andrew North, BBC. What has Britain got in return for helping Narendra Modi rehabilitate his image? And what assurances did you get from him that there would be a proper effort to pursue the cases of the 3 British nationals who were killed?
Well, we haven't come at this like a trade-off. We have decided to re-engage with the government of Gujarat because we think it's in Britain's interest to do so, and because we have a broad range of interests to pursue here in Gujarat. So there was no deal, there was no negotiations. We took this decision on our own because we think it's in Britain's interest. I don't accept the premise of your question that we are, as you put it, rehabilitating Mr. Modi. This is about engagement. It's not about endorsement. If you want to engage effectively with an Indian state, you need to engage with the government of that state, and you need to engage with the chief minister of that state. And Mr. Modi is the democratically elected leader of Gujarat.
Sorry, my follow-up on the 3 British nationals.
Okay, I'm sorry, I should have answered your point about the 3 British nationals. I did raise that issue with the Chief Minister. I said that we attached considerable importance to the case which was now being heard in the Gujarat courts, that we hoped that that case would proceed with due speed, and that the United Kingdom would be ready to do anything that it could to support the process of that case going forward.
Sir, this is Manish from CNBC Awaaz. what kind of opportunities you are looking in trade and investment? Which are the sectors UK is focusing in Gujarat? And is it because of the development of Gujarat or recession in European countries?
Thank you. Well, on trade and investment, the first point I want to make is that we have been doing business with Gujarat for many years. I mentioned that we have a British trade office in Gujarat which has been very active. There are many British companies which are based here in Gujarat. And there are many Gujarati companies that are based in the UK, and they are very welcome and they make a big contribution to the UK's economy. So the first point is that we've been doing business in Gujarat for many years. The second point is that we would indeed like to increase the trade and investment between Britain and Gujarat, because that will benefit not just Britain but also Gujarat. And we are just as interested in Gujarat investing in the UK as we are in British companies coming here and doing business with Gujarat. But the third point to make is that enhanced trade and investment, which we do seek, is only one part of a much broader agenda that we have here in Gujarat. As I laid out, there are many other areas in which we want to cooperate with Gujarat in the interests of the Gujarati people and the British people. And those include not just business, but science and technology, where Gujarat has some very interesting and very effective institutes where we can cooperate. Areas like climate change and energy, where again I think Britain and Gujarat together can help each other. And as I also mentioned, the protection of British nationals in Gujarat is something that I think we can do more effectively if we cooperate. So trade and investment is an important part of the relationship. It's already an important part of the relationship. We'd like to make it an even more important part, but it's not the main focus of the relationship right now. Finally, as to the areas in which I think there's particular scope for enhanced trade and investment, well, I think many of the things that Gujarat is looking for to continue to thrive, Britain is well placed to provide. So, for example, infrastructure. British companies are very good at building, designing and managing big infrastructure projects. Energy, British companies have experience both in hydrocarbons, oil and gas, but also in renewable energy, where Gujarat is leading the way. Urban planning, British companies know how to plan and modernise towns and cities. High-tech manufacturing, which I know Gujarat is a leader in. So there's a whole range of areas where I think there is complementarity between what Britain can offer Gujarat in terms of business and what Gujarat in return can offer Britain.
So I'm sorry, I apologize, I cannot speak with the camera. My question is, I'm not sure to Bloomberg to you. So my question to you is, sir, that your visit is at such a time in the state of Gujarat, one of the biggest British investments are being transferred to the ESC, to the state government, the GSPC, the British gas stake in Gujarat gas. So how do you see the energy sector as one of the crucial areas when it comes to the mutual cooperation or the trade investments between UK and Gujarat?
Thank you.
And my second question would follow that once answer this.
So the answer to your first question is that I do think the energy sector is an important area for strengthened cooperation. As you rightly say, British Gas are already active in the States, so are some other British energy companies. Cairn Energy, BP are also active here, and I think all of those can contribute further to meeting Gujarat's energy needs in future. What was your second question?
My second question is, sir, the way the country looks at cricket, the way the legacy of the British, that's the Lords and the Leeds, and the way the Gujarat has the best cricketing icons, has anything been talked on that?
I didn't discuss cricket today. That doesn't mean that I'm not interested. I recognise what you say, and I hope that in future I'll have the chance not just to talk about cricket when I come back, which I hope to do, but to play some of it as well.
Rohit, I'm from NDTV.
Okay.
So what, according to you, has changed on the ground, which has led to Britain changing its perception vis-a-vis Mr. Narendra Modi? Given the fact that there are several human rights organizations who are still protesting, there are cases just still pending in the court. What, according to you, has changed this perception?
Well, I think I answered the big question about what has changed since 2002. But let me just say something in particular about the human rights issue, because I think it is very important. We continue to attach great importance to human rights and respect for minorities, not just in Gujarat, but everywhere around the world. We think that engagement is the best way to advance the interests of human rights and minorities, both here in Gujarat and elsewhere. I did raise the issue of human rights and the position of minorities in Gujarat with the Chief Minister. I've also spent some time this afternoon discussing the same issue with some senior human rights activists who gave me their perspective, which, as you would expect, was slightly different, but I valued that also. And we will continue to raise human rights and governance issues with the government of Gujarat as we think necessary over the coming months.
I am looking at from file. What did the human rights groups or the NGOs have to say to you about the human rights question?
Well, I think that's a question that you'll have to ask them. It was a private conversation. But for me, it was an opportunity to listen to a different perspective and hear the views of several senior people who are involved in human rights here in the state. But I think it's not for me to characterise what they said. I think you'll need to ask them. Let's take.
I'm Paras from DNA. Will the British government grant Mr. Modi?
That's a hypothetical question. He hasn't asked for one. If he does ask for one, we will deal with it in the normal way, which is to look at each application on its merits and decide case by case in the light of the circumstances, all the relevant circumstances at the time. But at the moment, that is a hypothetical question.
Sir, what made you decide to re-engage with Gujarat just prior to the election?
Thank you. So let me just talk about the timing of the visit. As you say, it is only a couple of months before the elections. The reason for this is that we had a policy discussion in the British government about whether we should re-engage with the government of Gujarat. We concluded that we should. And in the British government, usually once we've taken a policy decision, we believe the right thing to do is to announce it and to implement it. And since we believe that engagement with the government of Gujarat is now the right thing to do, we thought it was right to begin that immediately. I'll just also say that we have no intention of interfering in any way in the election which is taking place in Gujarat. Who runs Gujarat is a matter for the voters and the people of Gujarat. I sought to make clear that we were taking no political position on the elections by visiting the senior Congress leader here in Gujarat this afternoon, as well as seeing the Chief Minister. And frankly, I think that the Gujarati voter is unlikely to be swayed in his or her decision as to who to vote for by the fact that the British High Commissioner has spent 8 hours in Ahmedabad.
So, question I from I would like to ask that what was the reaction by the European Union after you decided, the British government decided to have an engagement with the Gujarat government, and how the British government is concerned about it?
Thank you. Well, the fact is that different countries, both inside and outside the European Union, have different positions. So there are some members of the European Union who have already engaged with the government of Gujarat at senior level. And there are some other Western countries and some other countries not from the West who have also made the decision to engage. And there are others, some members of the European Union and some other countries who have decided not to engage. So there's no consensus or agreement amongst Western countries of the European Union. I was careful to explain to my colleagues in the European Union our decision. I kept them informed of our thinking, but each country has to make its own decision based on how it assesses its own national interests, and that's what the UK has done. I can take one more and then I have to leave.
One last question.
Okay.
Since you have now decided to engage with the Modi government and with ample justification, just tell us one small thing. What is that one factor, quality or feature which made the regarding Modi government, because all other things are complementary. Basically, it was engagement with the Modi government which is at the center of this whole issue. What is that one feature, one factor which made the British government to take this decision?
Well, 2 points. The first is that as I want to stress again, this was a decision to engage with Gujarat. And if you want to engage with Gujarat successfully, you have to engage with the Gujarat government and you have to engage with the Chief Minister. So the way I want to think about it is engagement with Gujarat. On the second question, what was the one factor? The one factor was the UK's national interest. And we think that it's in Britain's interest that we re-engage with the state government of Gujarat, because we think there are a broad range of issues on which we can work together with Gujarat to the benefit of Gujarat and to the benefit of the United Kingdom. So the short answer is we think that this is in the UK's national interest. Thank you very much. Thank you.